Hey everyone, you're listening to Just a Little Stitious podcast. I'm Jess.
And I'm her sister Megan, also known as the Queer Crypt on TikTok.
Whether you're driving, cleaning up the house, or just relaxing at home, we want you to hang out with us. And as Megan would say, get a little creeped out.
That's right. We'll be bringing you stories of paranormal news, extreme hauntings, cryptid sightings, urban legends, basically everything that goes bump in the night.
So if you're up for some eerie tales and a healthy dose of sisterly bullying,
then you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. We're tired. It's late at night. You're going to be even more tired tomorrow when you can't sleep tonight because you're thinking about our last episode.
And I can't sleep in either. I'll be up at between 5:30 and 6 tomorrow morning.
I won't be.
That's just what time my body wakes me up.
Well, actually, I woke up at 5 this morning.
Yeah, you texted me like early.
Yeah, my sleep schedule is all over the place.
Yeah.
Literally all over the place.
I know. Sometimes I'm like in the mornings, I'm like, should I text her? Like, she might be asleep. But then I'm like, if she's sleeping, she won't hear my message. But you answered fairly quick. I'm like,
yeah, I woke up at 5 this morning.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was before 7 that I texted, or it may have been after. I'm not sure. But it was early that I texted you. And I was shocked.
So what are we going to be talking about today?
Have you ever seen the movie The Hills Have Eyes?
A long time ago. I think I saw it.
So that movie it's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's about this family, I guess, that lives in these hills of these mountains in this desert, and they kidnap people, murder them, eat them, do other really disgusting, terrible things to them. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. I only saw that movie for the first time, actually, like, since I've been married. Well, since I've been with my husband.
Okay.
I never saw it before. I had no interest in seeing it. Didn't really know what it was. Didn't even really realize it was like a horror or anything. And I'm watching it and I'm like, ugh. And I remember Googling it. Mm-hmm. It told me that that movie is very loosely based around a story, a legend. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. Nobody really knows. But they say, like, where there's smoke, there's fire.
True.
So there's a possibility. I had read this story legend way back when I watched it, and I've looked at several different sources, several different websites, different whatever. The stories are all the same thing that's being said. Maybe a few little details are a little different. Like, for example, this one says they lived in a cave by the sea. Another one said they lived in the mountains or something like that.
Gotcha.
So, but it's very minor details that are like different.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that that's clear.
Fair enough.
Okay, the true legend that this is loosely based around is about this man. His name is Sonny Bean. I know.
It's a weird name too.
Oh, and this is a Scottish tale from a 16th century criminal.
Okay.
Which is Sonny Bean. And this was...
Sonny, not Sunny?
Sonny. Sawney.
Oh, weird.
Sonny.
Okay.
So during the reign of King James, people who would travel around Ayrshire, Scotland, would go missing, and authorities could never figure out why. No idea why these people are going on trips and vanishing. I don't know if the authorities knew about this family yet. They're not very specific about it. But he lived in a cave with his family by the sea, and they had no contact with the outside world at all, like, aside from robbing unexpected travelers. And by robbing, I mean taking them. And the people that they took, they killed. They cut limbs off of them, hung them. Hung them in their thing, dried them out, ate them, like drank their blood.
Ooh.
Did all this stuff.
Okay.
Like straight cannibalism.
A little vampiric.
Straight gross. It's said that they have done this to over 1,000 men, women, and children. Yeah.
Oh, ew. I just got I don't know. That was weird. I got chills. I never get chills, but that's so disturbing.
I know. Like, this family had supposedly never been seen in, like, a market, buying food, in a town, just totally off grid.
Wow. Okay, I'm sorry, but we have to circle back. You guys, I never get chills, ever, from something being told to me.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
I'm good.
Okay, that's disturbing. Continue.
Over 1,000 men, women, and children are said to have lost their lives in this way. And by the way, when they're killing people, it's brutal. They are slicing them open, pulling like organs out. They're not even fully dead yet sometimes when that happens. So this is a fun little fact. The Bean family. The Bean family was said to have consisted of Sonny Bean, his wife, 8 sons, 6 daughters, 18 grandsons, and 14 granddaughters, all from keeping it in the family, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Flowers in the attic. That's disturbing.
It is. It's so and like there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like that's too much.
Ew.
That's a little.
This story's gross.
It is.
Ugh.
Well, the movie is even more gross. Like it is traumatizing to watch. I will say that.
I don't think I want to watch that movie.
It is hard. Like there's times like I had to like close my eyes and cover my ears because I couldn't watch or hear what was going on in the movie because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So it's claimed that this man who was robbed by the Bean family, he made it out.
Oh.
His wife did not.
Oh.
They killed her in front of him. This woman slit her open and started pulling out her insides right in front of him. And somehow he got out.
So this is probably where the information comes from, is this man then?
I would assume so. Any of these stories that I read, I haven't been able to find like an actual source of where the story came from.
What year was it again?
It just says the 16th century.
Oh, well, yeah. Makes sense.
Long
time ago.
That being said, though, maybe this did happen.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't honestly be shocked to hear that it was happening now either.
Yeah, same.
To be completely honest.
100%. The world is
going to shit, man.
Yeah.
This man got out and he goes to the authorities, tell them what's going on. Right after that, an expedition was mounted to go and
find them,
to go and investigate this and to figure out what's going on, to like capture this family. And this hunt was led by King James himself.
Oh,
which I think is fairly interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
They penetrated into they entered the family's quote unquote lair.
It's just a word I preferred you didn't use ever. In front of me.
My God.
It's like from, what is that movie where they all sing Pitch Perfect? Not a good enough reason to use the word penetrate. Go on.
So anyways, they enter the lair. They find the hands, legs, arms of men, women, children hanging like it's dried beef. Like hanging.
Oh, God.
They find a mass amount of money, tons of gold and silver, watches and jewelry.
Which, why are they even why if they just
collecting it?
Yeah, because they don't use it to go buy things, do they? They just...
Well, apparently not. Like, nobody had supposedly ever seen them anywhere. They found pistols, swords, shit like that. I guess 16th century stuff. A great quantity of clothing among, countless other items that they've stolen from the people they cannibalized. Murder in the 16th, 17th century, I mean, same as it is now, it's considered to be one of the most heinous crimes.
Right.
And this family took it a step further.
Yeah.
By eating these people, right? So the outrageous crimes demanded that authorities take equally outrageous action and response to punishing the family.
Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm scared.
So the men, they're getting their male appendages lopped off and thrown into a fire right in front of them. And then after that, they cut off their hands, their limbs, until they bleed out and die.
Oh.
And they do this all in front of the women /wives /daughters /granddaughters, grandkids,
Holy
whatever.
Schnitzel. Okay.
Yeah, it's all being done right in front of them. The women, they're all burnt in fires. And it's said that as they're dying, they are cursing and venting down to the last breath. They're pissed off. There's no current found proof that this legend is true.
Right.
There's no account of Bean in I think it's Pitcairn's. Don't know how to say it, I'll be honest with you. Pitcairn's criminal trials in Scotland.
Gotcha.
But where there's smoke, there's fire, is what many people say. There may have been a cannibalistic family that did prey upon people and lop them apart and chew on them.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
They absolutely may have. And they could have killed over 1,000 people. They could have done all these things that the legend says. We'll probably never know.
Right.
Everybody from back then is dead now.
Well, very, very, very much so.
Yeah, very dead.
Super dead.
Super
duper. That
duper.
is so disturbing.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it wild?
Yes. And also, just since we're on the topic of cannibalism, though, have you seen the show Yellow Jackets?
No.
You and Arthur need to watch it.
Okay.
It's the best, most fucked up show.
I think you've told me to watch that a few times, actually. I mean, but if you, just say you had to eat a person.
Okay.
Say you're stranded on an island. You have to eat someone. Which body part are you starting with?
I want to say the arm for some reason, but there's probably a lot of tendons.
That'd be very chewy.
Maybe a piece of the thigh?
I know what I would do.
Go ahead.
The butt. That's all fat. It's all fat. It's like, well, meat. It's all meaty. And then, maybe a finger, knock off chicken wing.
I don't think you'd get much off of there.
You never know. But
that's wow. Okay.
I know, it's a lot to process.
It is. I'm used to ghost stories, so this really fucked me up here. Wow. Okay.
I know, not very paranormal, but
I like it.
Very creepy.
Yeah, 100%.
Very gross.
In the realm of folklore,
yeah,
I would say, which we'll talk about as well. I am so curious about how this family started. Like, how did they come to be? Did they always live in the cave? Was this like generations upon generations who lived in this cave and lived and died? You know what I mean?
From what I kind of gather from it, it's that Sonny Bean and his wife, like he kind of was like, he was an adult when he went and did this with his wife.
So he
started this, I mean, let's call it what it is. It's a fucking cult.
Yeah.
He started the cult.
Yes.
With
their children. Oh, God. Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
I know.
That is disturbing.
I will say both movies, because there's two.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Both are quite disturbing. They both have the one thing that you never want to see in a movie. But the second one is less, something crappy does happen, sucks. I mean, it's all crappy. But the second one is less awful to watch.
Interesting.
Than the first one.
Like, my thing with those types of movies that include assault is, does the movie do it in a tasteful way, or does the movie do it for shock factor and entertainment? You know what I mean?
It's 100%, especially the first one. Like the second one, maybe it's because if you've seen the first one, then you're kind of expecting it.
Right.
So maybe it's less. The first one it's not good. It's very bad. I mean, the person who they do this, it's like a teenage girl.
Oh.
It's really bad. It's right in front of family.
Oh my gosh.
It's really, really terrifying.
That is not the kind of movie that I want to watch.
No, I wasn't expecting that either. And like Arthur didn't warn me.
Oh.
He didn't think to.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it. I was like, no. It was actually probably one of the worst assault scenes in a film that I've ever seen before.
Oh God, really?
It made me feel, it was really crazy. It sucked to watch.
Yeah, it's hard because I don't want to like ever look up what happens in a movie. If I know that that's something that happens in a movie, I definitely don't watch it.
There's only that one part where it happens and it's like less than 2 minutes. So it's one of those things you could like Google what time, like
and fast forward through it.
So that you don't have to see it because it's.
Speaking of that though, and also spoiler alert. So skip ahead like 2 minutes if you don't want to hear anything about the movie Blink Twice, if you haven't seen it. Have you seen the movie Blink Twice?
I haven't seen it yet, no.
I feel like it's like a love letter to victims in a way. Like it's like, I think you should watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a scene with assault in it, but it's done in a way I feel like is like, it's very short, but I feel like it's done in a tasteful way. I don't think you actually see it happening. It reminds me of like, Epstein and how he had all those girls on the island and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It honestly just reminded me of that. And it's like a big fuck you to those people. And I don't know, it just felt very powerful.
Oh, well, that's good. I've been wanting to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, honestly.
Well, let me know when you do because it was crazy.
This is kind of some little stories. Also kind of like a little game, kind of almost.
Oh, okay.
Because I was on Reddit because I was looking for things to like talk about. I came across like they're just like a bunch of like short kind of stories from people, things that they've seen.
Right.
And kind of freaky, and they don't know what it is, no explanation. So I think it would be fun because you know some stuff.
Yeah.
So I can read them to you. And then you can tell us what you think. And if you think this is anything paranormal.
Okay.
Anything
if it's a
cryptid.
Okay.
Or
folklore creature.
Yeah, like a creature or something.
Okay. I'm
gonna
excited.
start with this one because it's actually the shortest. So this is the first one from someone on Reddit. The title is Fly by Night.
Okay.
As a child in Frankfurt, I remember some nights when it was getting late, I would see a black figure fly over our apartments. I don't know for sure what it was, but I remember it flew silently. You wouldn't notice it if you didn't see it. It would fly fast, passing over in an instant. If I had to estimate from memory, I'd say it was about the size of a car. I wasn't the only person who saw it either. My neighbors saw it, parents, everybody, but nobody knew what it was. At the time, and today still, I mostly firmly believe that it has to have been some kind of massive bat. I feel like I know what this is. What do you think?
I don't know. Like some kind of massive bat. Like what are they like? Are they thinking like a vampire or like Mothman?
Well, I just immediately jumped to Mothman, but I guess a vampire maybe.
I don't know. Because the fact that it looks like a giant bat is weird. But what I will say is that with creatures that are flying overhead, it's very, very difficult, especially at night, discern the size. And a lot of times people see really big birds and think that it's something much larger. So was it a giant bat, a vampire, or Mothman? I don't know.
Maybe. Could be. Should have taken a video, Redditor.
You fucked up.
That's on you. This one from another Redditor called Mysterious Visitors.
Ooh.
My entire childhood, my father and I used to take late night walks due to his insomnia from shift work. Our neighborhood is considered very safe and ultimately was an urban neighborhood, besides one of the roads towards the back, which was lined with a thick forest for about a mile and about a quarter deep, which circled back on itself. All of these walks are very dear memories of mine, except one. And it ended up being the last one.
Uh-oh.
Along the road with the tree line, there was a single streetlight to illuminate a small plot of land that someone owned, but it was very overgrown and ill-kept. It was very common for us to walk this road to enjoy the sounds of the forest. The lack of illumination and the ease of circling back, one ordinary night, as we're walking and making conversation, my father abruptly stops, pulls me close, puts a hand over my mouth, crouches with me, and points towards the single illuminated plot roughly 100 yards away.
Oh my God, my heart is beating. Oh God, okay.
At first, I didn't see anything and thought he was pulling my leg. But just as I began to protest his grasp, I see a very small humanoid figure, roughly 3 feet in height, scrawny, with long limbs, materialized out of the plot's brush line and cautiously take in its surroundings before signaling towards the brush. After a few seconds, 2 other small humanoid figures materialize as well. After a brief moment of what looked to be a discussion, all 3 make a dash for the forest tree line. Once this happened, my father picked me up, threw me over his shoulder, and made a break for home, which was roughly a half a mile back. Mind you, my father is 6'5" and 220 pounds. I was roughly 120 pounds at this time, and he never showed signs of slowing down due to his fear and adrenaline.
Wow.
After that night, we never took late night walks. He installed 4 bright motion detection lights around our acre plot, and he brought home a dog. The few times I've tried bringing it up, he doesn't want to discuss it and made it clear he never wanted to. Those figures still give me the chills, and the image of 3 huddled together is very vivid 15 years later.
Holy fuck.
Isn't that creepy?
I love it. But yes, oh my gosh.
I have chills right now.
Like
too.
that is a creepy one.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
But also for me,
yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to say this and never have witnessed what that person witnessed.
Right.
But I don't think of aliens, clearly aliens to me. I don't know, unless I guess it could be like the Fae. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But to me, that seems like aliens.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think of aliens and fear them.
I mean, if I saw one, I'd shit my pants. Like I would have a racing stripe up the back of my pants. But
there is this documentary that is about essentially you like call aliens to you. A bunch of people have done it. I think it's called CE5. A lot of people have taken strange videos and things like that after doing it. Basically, I think you meditate and you go somewhere out in the middle of nowhere at night.
Oh, fuck that.
We should do it and record it.
Maybe.
Aliens are nice.
I feel like
Probably.
It depends. I feel like the gray ones would be nicer.
I'm going to get you to watch the documentary and then you can decide. But I think it would be a really fun thing to do that we could make a video about.
I've tried meditating.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been able to get myself to that point where I'm just like there.
Yeah.
Like I can't get there.
Well, we'll try.
You might be disappointed. I'll start humming. I'll be like, Pop a top again. Start singing.
I'll make you take it seriously. I'll bribe you or something.
With what?
That's a good question. I have nothing, but I'll figure something out.
She used to be able to bribe me with choosing an item from her room.
Yeah, I used to have a really messy room when I was a little kid, and our youngest sister, I would like give her something from my room if she would help me clean and organize it. And Jessica, I would give her something if she would stay out of our way.
Yeah.
Because
it was a pretty sick deal to me.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
All I had to do was leave them alone.
You were like, can I help? But secretly, maybe you were like,
I'm going to get something for nothing.
Yeah, as long as I offer to help. So funny.
You just knew I wouldn't leave you alone if you let me.
It wasn't that you wouldn't leave us alone. It was that you probably wouldn't actually clean or organize. You would probably just like go through stuff and be like, oh, this looks cool. Or what is this? You know?
Well, that's because I didn't clean or organize, whereas Natalie was,
I needed her
and
help.
she still is the most clean and organized person I know.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that happen, by the way? I mean, there's bound, when there's like 3 of you,
yeah,
there's bound to be one that's like
always
so good at it. Mom and Dad still think that you took their ice cream scoop and lost it in your room or something.
This is, yes, I've heard this so many times.
The ongoing thing.
Yeah, like I've heard this so many times. Like it still gets brought up. Like
all the time.
This was honestly what
I just heard about it not long ago.
20 years ago, and they still bring up, oh, we can't give anyone any of our cutlery or Tupperware. Nothing ever comes home. The ice cream scoop that went missing. Like, I'm lactose. I don't even eat ice cream.
Yeah, they are dead set that you lost that ice cream scoop
random.
on them. What would you even do with it? Like, bring it down?
I don't think they think I brought it into my room. I think it was when I was in my first apartment. They think I took it.
Ice cream scoop.
Like, guys, I couldn't afford ice cream even if I wanted to eat it and then shit my pants after.
They also sold ice cream scoops like the dollar store.
Yeah.
Someone just buy them a new fucking ice cream scoop.
Well, I'm sure they have.
They do,
right
but
now.
like
It's 20 years later.
Buy them the same exact one that they lost.
I definitely didn't take their ice cream scoop. So, guys, stop bringing it up. Thanks.
I will say, though, and Mom and Dad, if you do hear this, I'm so sorry. I'm going to admit it now.
Uh-oh.
I borrowed when I had my first apartment, which is 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
They had this. They're going to be so mad.
What is it?
Mom has been looking for this thing for years.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to come clean.
Oh, no. What is
my gift to you, Mom and Dad, is
honesty.
Honesty.
I'm scared.
So they had this casserole dish that was like really deep. It was like one of those like square ones. It was like a good one. And I borrowed it. Like they knew I borrowed it. Like I didn't just take it. Like they knew I was borrowing it.
Yeah.
And I used it and it was on the counter and I was going to be giving it back to them. And I tried to make chicken noodle soup in my crock pot, but I added my noodles in too soon. So they ended up like and I kind of forgot about it. Like I was...
The house is haunted. The house is haunted.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
My fucking heart fell out of my ass.
God, what was that? We just heard something in the kitchen. Anyways, I'm not scared enough and too lazy to go look, so.
I'm not going to go look either, but that really scared me.
Perfect. Move along. Keep going.
Anyways. Holy fuck. Anyways, so I put the noodles in my crock pot too soon. Kind of forgot about it. I was a bit of a stoner back then. I kind of just would do stuff and then forget that I was doing stuff.
Okay.
And then I remembered, oh my God, I have chicken noodle soup in the crock pot. Make myself a bowl and it's like, been in there for like
too long.
10 hours at this point, like barf. I was 18 also.
Yeah.
And lazy and I was kind of gross. Okay.
Same.
I didn't know what to do with the crock pot full of soup.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can't pour it down the drain.
Right.
So I left it in the crock pot.
Yeah.
For about like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I asked my ex, I was like, can you deal with this? He takes the lid off. He's like, oh. Nope. Puts it back on. So I'm like, well, I need to do something. So I poured it into Mom and Dad's casserole dish and then threw it out.
Oh my God.
And I threw out my crock pot. And I could have just thrown out
the crock pot.
The whole crock pot. I just couldn't get it clean. And then I had been complaining to Mom and Dad for so many years that I didn't have a crock pot anymore. And then they bought me a crock pot.
That's so funny. Oh my God. That's actually so funny.
So
she owes you a new casserole dish.
I do. And they've asked me about it so many times. They're like, do you have any idea what happened to that casserole dish? I know exactly what they're talking about. I'm like, no, I do not. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was what, 10 years ago?
Yeah. Well, I got that apartment 10 years ago. And I might have been like 19 or 20 when I actually physically
Right.
did
So
that.
between 8 to 10 years ago.
But Mom and Dad, my gift to you, closure.
You better get them a new fucking casserole dish for something.
I
Christmas.
would think they bought a new one by now, but apparently not.
Well, I don't think it matters because they still bring up the ice cream scoop.
Yeah.
So
Maybe I'll just let them watch it.
maybe they won't watch it and they'll never find out.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
This one, silent imposter. Spooky.
Love it.
This is going to be super duper. I was walking to meet up with my friend. I live in Connecticut. So, as far as I knew, there was nothing here that could be a cryptid or an unknown. Well, I was walking at around 11 p.m. to go meet up with my friend to chill for a little. I approached this house, specifically the garage, because I cut through the yard. As I came closer to the garage, I noticed my friend. It was him, and I did our call, which was something like that. It's like a
Okay.
is how I imagine this sound is said.
Strange. Okay.
And this thing just looked at me with his face. I mean, what else would he look at you with? His asshole?
I love this. I love this story.
Every detail was the same, and it was a full moon that night, so I could see him very clearly. I got closer. I called his name, and it gave no response. I just thought he was being a freak and fucking with me. So I continued on my way and Snapchatted him, asking what the hell he was doing. He shortly sent me a Snapchat picture of him at a bowling alley in a town about 30 minutes away. This was all within 5 to 10 minutes of the sighting. I never saw anything again, but from then on, I wasn't much of a night person anymore. I still can't shake the eerie, dreadful feeling I had when I saw that thing. I tend not to talk about the subject because of how much it genuinely scares me. I still can't think of what that thing was, but it mocked the appearance of my friend. This experience has seriously freaked me out, and I still refuse to walk alone at night.
Okay, first of all, I want to meet the person who wrote that. Second of all, that is scary though. It sounds like a mimic or a doppelganger. Mimics are terrifying.
I don't know what that is.
It's basically an entity that
Mimics you?
mimics you or mimics someone you know.
It's pretty self-explanatory, actually. I don't know why I asked.
There's a girl, her name is Morgan. She's big on TikTok and YouTube, and she lives in Appalachia. There's some type of mimic in her house or on her property. It'll
Ew.
sound like her boyfriend. It's very creepy.
No me gusta.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's actually, that's really creepy. I don't like that. What was that? What was it doing there? Why was, what was it doing there?
I know. And the way it just looked at him with his face.
Instead of its butthole.
How dare you look at me with your face, sir?
I think I'd rather it looked at me with its face. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Its brown eye.
I could look at you with its face. Oh my God. This one is called The Devil of Northern Jersey.
Oh, the
Pretty
Jersey Devil. I'm going to guess in advance. Couldn't have told me the title.
Well, it's not my fault they frickin' named it this. Pick something else.
Well, they didn't know we would be playing this game, probably.
He says right here, the first sentence of this thing is, to be honest, I don't know what I saw,
So maybe it's not the Jersey Devil.
but I have a distinct memory of seeing something as a kid. When I was younger, we used to live near a large woods. Next to the woods was a field used by the local Little League's teams. Usually, my mom would take me along to my brother's soccer practice, and I would spend the time swinging around on the monkey bars with the other kids. I was only about 5 or 6, so I wasn't supposed to stray far. One day, I was feeling a little braver than usual, and I decided to wander further into the woods than I was allowed to. Not far into my adventure,
Bad idea.
it's such a bad idea, I found myself just out of sight from the soccer field and about to enter an area where the trees became thicker. I remember looking up. No more than 20 yards ahead of me stood, well, something. It stood upright like a person.
Wait, I'm confused. They looked up?
The trees became thicker. He looked up. No more than 20 yards ahead of me.
Yeah, but
Or
that's
above.
standing. So I'm confused.
Unless is he 20 yards high?
Maybe this person was walking with their head down and then they looked up like this.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I can see that.
Important details.
Okay, so anyways, no more than 20 yards ahead of me stood, well, something. It stood upright like a person, but instead of clothes, it had pale, sand-colored fur. It was about 8 feet tall and looked down at me with reddish orange eyes. I wasn't scared by it, but I remember it stared at me with a stern expression on his face. A distinct, "You're not supposed to be here" look. I got the message.
That's good.
I turned on my heels, made my way back to the soccer field. It felt wiser to spend the rest of the time on the jungle gym with the other kids instead. This took place in northern New Jersey, but I couldn't tell you exactly where or when. I'm sorry, are you not the one who experienced this?
They were young. They might not know.
No, you know where this was. You're just gatekeeping the place.
Maybe.
He doesn't want people to go and check it out for themselves.
Maybe.
Anyways. Oh. I couldn't tell you exactly where or when, since it was so long ago when we moved not long after.
Someone's a jerk.
Sorry. It may have been the Jersey Devil. However, as far as the lore goes, the Jersey Devil mainly lives in Pine Barrens, which is further south.
It doesn't really sound like the Jersey Devil, though.
Does the Jersey Devil have orange fur?
Not that I know of, but the Jersey Devil...
Looks like a cat.
Do you think that creature looked like a cat?
I didn't see a picture of it, but if I think of orange fur, I'm thinking...
Well, pale
cat.
sand-colored fur.
Still thinking of a cat. What are you thinking of when you hear that? Maybe a guinea pig?
Maybe a blonde Bigfoot? So, okay, first of all, the Jersey Devil has, like, hooves for feet. It has wings.
I feel like I've seen, like, a sketch of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has a goat head or something weird. I feel like if you could see enough of whatever it was, if it was the Jersey Devil, like, you would know it was the Jersey Devil. This thing, I mean, this person didn't really describe the face, did it? Other than the eyes?
No.
Yeah. There is a Bigfoot / Sasquatch / Sasket, which is the correct indigenous word. And it's called Old Yellow Top because it has blonde on its head.
Oh, okay.
On the top of its head.
Interesting.
Some people call it your Canadian quirky cousin because it's mostly seen in Canada. So if there's a yellow top, could there be a yellow hole body Sasquatch?
Oh, I thought you said a yellow hoe. I was like,
no, a yellow, like, Sasquatch, like, head to toe, you know? Like a
whole yellow Sasquatch.
A blonde Sasquatch.
I mean, could be.
Well, I don't know what else it would be. I can't think of anything that's that color.
You know what?
It sounds really tall.
That kid may have just made that whole story up, I think, first of all.
Any of these people could have made these stories.
But that one specifically for me,
yeah.
I didn't like it.
Why?
Because he said, we used to live near a large woods. That's why. You're an adult when you wrote this.
Not everyone's good at grammar. We have different strengths.
I know 2.5 languages fluently. I count Spanish because it's half. I understand it better than I talk it. But
I love that you just said, then I talk it. And you're complaining.
Cut that out right now. Edit that out.
You're complaining about this person's English grammar.
I spell better than that. In 3 languages. But I'm not judging. I don't judge. It's fine. Are you looking for more errors?
No, it says, when I was younger, we used to live near a large wooded area.
False.
I know I'm lying. I just wanted to upset you.
I feel like everyone's trying to upset me today.
I'm getting a little delirious because it's late and, Bye. Thank you for listening to Jessica talk. I know it's been hard. Someone has to listen to her,
This has probably been our best episode yet.
Let us know in the comments. Do you prefer her regular storytelling or her
animated version?
Yeah, I personally love the animated version.
Thank you.
But it definitely makes it a little less creepy, which some people might like.
That's how I read books to my kids. I do.
That's amazing. I loved it.
They like it when I do that.
I loved it. I really did. I think that you should start a series on TikTok where you read scary stories like that. I seriously think it would blow up. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking at all. 0%.
I don't have time for that. Sorry, guys.
make time.
No can do.
Anyways, I'm going to go home and go to bed.
Anyway, bye.
Good night. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Just a Little Stitious.
We hope you had just as much fun getting creeped out as we did.
If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave us a review if you would be so kind.
And be sure to follow The Queer Crypt on YouTube if you want to watch us in video form.
We'd also love to hear from you. Send your eerie encounters to justalittlestitiouspod@gmail.com.
And remember, we're not superstitious.
We're just a little stitious.